Folks, so this is going to be a quick one because there isn't too much action to show in this game. I just want to demonstrate what the new CPU and the latest GPUs can do in this game. Because when this game first came out, I think the general consensus was that the performance was very bad. And I think in a fully populated city, you get down to 15 or 20 FPS even on the best hardware at that time, which was I think 7950 X3D and 4090. If you turn off DLSS and you max out everything. So I've just tried this save. This save I just downloaded from the internet because I've never played this game seriously before, so I'm just trying this on the 9950 X3D and the 5090. So we're getting around 60 FPS here. But if you see the smoke here, do you see the smoke is actually stuttering? So definitely the smoke is less than 60 FPS. It's I don't know, maybe 30, less than 30. So that's a little bit weird. But it's at night when the scene goes dark, it goes lower by another 10 to 15 FPS. So I just tried it at night. Let's see if we can fast forward it to the night. It goes down to I think around 40 something to 50 something FPS. But the thing is, for this kind of games, for simulation, especially for this kind of SimCity type of simulation, it doesn't really matter. I mean, at least for me. For action games, of course, you want to have above 60 FPS at least, and for competitive games like Fortnite or some other shooters like CS2, you want more than 120 perhaps, or even people say that they will benefit from 240 FPS. But for this kind of games, I think about 30 should be fine. And we're just trying to max out everything, as you can see here in the options. So we are doing 4K. Maximum frame latency is 3. I'm not sure what the settings mean because I've never played this game before. I think it's some latency in relation to your input and the response on the screen. Depth of field, so I'm using physical. So you can see the DLSS is disabled, so it's running at 84K, and everything is high. So there's this global settings high. So if you turn this on, you will have everything on high, including floor quality, volumetrics, and global illumination. I think these three settings were very impactful on the performances I've read from the internet. So but despite that, I still turn those to the highest. And also reflections. I'm not sure how this game does reflections. Is it real ray tracing or some kind of other screen-based reflections, for example? I'm not too sure about that, but it's also on high, so everything is actually maxed out. Yeah, and we are getting closer to the night, and we are getting, so we are dipping to the lower 50s and high 40s. I think at night it's mainly high 40s, mid on high 40s, but I think for this kind of games, you can see if you zoom really close to how the cars are moving, I think they are still quite smooth. So I think it is playable at this point. But we are my save that I've downloaded from the internet thanks to a guy called Peanut. I downloaded it from a website called Nexus Mod. It's a 100,000 population map. So as you see, in the grander scheme of things, you still have a vast area that's undeveloped. If anyone can point to me where can I download a fully populated CT save. I appreciate that, and I'm happy to try that out. But for now, I think the 100,000 population city is totally playable on the 5090 and 9950 X3D. The one curious thing that I've also read on the internet, because I'm just started playing this game, when this came out, so because as you may know, in the last generation, the 7800 X3D performed better actually than the 7950 X3D in most gaming situations. Although it's just very marginal, but I think for the max difference would be like 80% in 180p situations. But generally, I think for many games, this 7800 X3D actually performed better. But this is one of the exceptions. I think the other exceptions are like Dragon Summer 2 at the time, because it's very CPU bound. So that game performed better on the 7950 X3D, for example. And this game also, I think this is one of the games, and I think this is the only game where the 7950 X3D actually performed much better than the 7800 X3D. And to the point that I think in this game, the 7950 X3D actually performed better than the 9800 X3D. So 9800 X3D, I think, just came out last November, which I've been using until now. That's a very good gaming CPU. But the thing is, everything besides gaming, when compared with my previous 7950 X3D, it's noticeably slower. And gaming situations, I think the 7950 X3D isn't like noticeably slower, because I'm mostly gaming 4K, so in most situations there isn't really a noticeable difference anyway. But I was like checking out 9950 X3D these 2 days with the Monster Hunter Wilds mostly, and just checked out with this game. So the thing is, yeah, at least for Monster Hunter Wilds, I haven't like really sat down and compared the numbers. But I think maybe it's foreseeable, but I think it's smoother in some situations on Monster Hunter Wilds. And I haven't tested this game on 9800 X3D, so I cannot say, or I haven't compared with any other CPU on this game. So, but judging from what I've read from the internet in regard to how the 9800 X3D performed and how the 7800 X3D performed versus the 7950 X3D, I think getting this kind of FPS in this game is actually quite good, or even impressive. And that's why I'm trying to start to play this, because I think I've downloaded this game before. I think when it came out, it was on Game Pass, but I just checked it. I think it's no longer on there. I don't know, but anyway, I bought it on Steam, and I think I will now start to play this, because I think even with a populated city, this frame rate is acceptable. So that's all from me for now. Glad if you guys watched my some sort of like gameplays or benchmarks throughout this GPU and CPU launch period. I hope I can provide some reference points for you guys. For me, I mean, since I have bought the 5090, I don't think we should like scheme on the CPU. I mean, if you are purely gaming with your 5090, which I think most people are, I think it's totally fine if you just use the 9800 X3D. But yeah, if you just want the best of the best, I think 9950 X3D is the way to go. It just performs so much better in everything else. It doesn't necessarily mean like you have to like do a bunch of like productivity work like Adobe or some other very CPU intensive stuff. For me, even if just like streaming on the OBS, I think it already shows that it's much better than the 9800 X3D, which I've used for the past I think 3 or 4 months. Yeah, so that's my take on it. But I mean, to each his own. If you are just happy with what you're doing and you are just gaming, whenever you turn on your computer, that's fine. I think 9800 3D will do its job. I mean, the main difference with this generation is that I think the 9950X 3D this time the 2 CCD CPU actually performed better than the 8-core one in terms of gaming in many cases, whereas in the past, I think except the cases I've mentioned, the 7800X 3D performed much better in most games. But this generation is a little bit different, so yeah, it's just my 2 cents. It doesn't mean that if you buy a 5090 you have to get a 9950X 3D. But yeah, I just don't see the point of scheme on that. But yeah, I think this setup, by the way, will last you for at least 2 years, even if you are like a top enthusiast. Because I think I remember when I bought the 7950X 3D, it came out around February 2023. Yes, 2023. And now we are talking about March, right? So it's exactly 2 years. But if you compare it with the 9800X 3D, assuming it's like 2 years till the next Ryzen launch, then it will be, I think, 2026 towards the end. So that's either 2026 year end or early 2027 on the CPU side. On the GPU side, if you take 4090 as an example, I think I've used my 4090 for more than 2 years, actually 2 years for I think around 3 or 4 months. And before the 5090 launch, which I was very lucky to get one on launch day. So that one on the GPU side, I think it will also last us for around 2 years, except if something like the Titan or 5090 Ti kind of comes out. But even if that comes out, I don't think I will be getting that one, because considering the hassle I have to go through for getting the 5090, it's just too much. I think I would just go straight for the 6090, even if there's a mid-gen refresh.
A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road
thanks
conditions.
for hearing the rants.
Please exercise caution if you must
enjoy
drive,
gaming
and try to stay off the streets until conditions
it's not
improve.
a very good time
This has been a
for
local public service
building
announcement.
the new hardware, obviously.
You're
but
tuned
I
in
think
to
in the
Second
future will
Move,
be
the channel where the
better.
classics
Hopefully, I think in the
never
next
grow
few
old.
months, when I'm actually seeing
And
more
on to
stocks
our
of
main
5090
feature story.
coming out.
The
from
commercial
Reddit,
district
so
is
I
booming
hope it's
as the
looking good.
area is attracting
Thank you,
more
guys. Bye-bye.
high-end stores.